The history of Feng Shui. Feng Shui is the art of placing and situating a structure so it is in harmony with nature. Also known as Conyu, cultural and social issues are influenced by cosmological, metaphysical and natural factors. To use this ancient technique, you have to understand the influence of cosmology on Earth. You should also have knowledge of how astronomy and astrology influence the placement of buildings. You also need to understand Confucian classic, the weathering process, the forces of nature, the magnetic fields and how these all influence us. If you think about it, that is a lot to study. The history of Feng Shui originated in the West Han dynasty around 3rd century BC. Those who practice it believe that the earth is alive with energy. If people built a structure on a land that has revitalizing energy, then they would prosper. If this is placed in a site with bad energy, misfortune will occur. Originally, Feng Shui was used to help place tombs for those who have died rather than for building homes for the living. Back then, they believed that choosing a good burial site will bring peace and prosperity to those who remained here on Earth. The instrument used to select the correct burial site was known as the Lo Pan. This invention was traced back to the Yellow Emperor, where it is said that the Lady of the Nine Heavens gave him this knowledge. This ancient compass was called the Yin Shi and is described as a square base called a diviner's board, holding a bowl of water which floated a magnetic south-pointing spoon. The Yin Shi then developed into the Lo Pan, and during the Song dynasty, this was used to navigate at sea. When this was brought to Europe somewhere during the 13th century, this was better known as the compass, which helped navigators explore the rest of the world. But going back to Feng Shui, if the Lo Pan can be used to pick good burial sites, couldn't it do the same for erecting buildings where people could live? The answer is yes, and so this device was now used to analyze the orientations in a relationship to the main door, the bed and the stove. Since then, both the rich and the poor incorporate this in their architecture. Archaeological studies have shown that ancient Chinese city planners were made in concentric rectangles surrounded by walls that were then surrounded by lakes, hills, valleys, gardens, courtyards and parks which were to enhance positive energy. As for buildings, these were constructed to enhance a healthy relationship between family members and the country. This is where Yin and Yang comes in, which this is considered to be the foundation of the universe. Coming from Taoism, these two are complete opposites that cannot exist without the other. For them, the left side of the building must represent Yang or the male force, while Yin or the female force is on the right. Examples of Yang in the past included sunlit roofs, built areas and an elevation in the front. For Yin, there must be empty areas, shadowed eaves, setback structures and elevations in the back. The history of Feng Shui was almost forgotten when the communists took over in 1949. If it wasn't for the masters who practiced it and shipped it out to Hong Kong or China, we would have never known it existed. Feng Shui made its way to the US only in the 1970s. Various articles and shows have focused on it, and people now use it to help in building a house or a building. The yin and yang of Feng Shui. Is Feng Shui really friendly for all genders? While there is no question to the fact that it can invite some positive vibes into your home just by the mere art of rearranging your furniture and the orientations of your surroundings, it may actually reveal so much more about culture if one takes a good look at it. For one thing, the yin and yang illustration is a very famous facet of Feng Shui. It simply states that opposites are necessary to be able to appreciate the beauty of things. You cannot appreciate the good without bad, light without darkness and so on. This theory of opposites and balance extends to the elements of the earth, water, wind, fire, wood and earth. These elements are also in balance if good Feng Shui is present. Yin is often characterized with strength, viability and aggressiveness. More importantly, it is attributed to the masculine side of identity. On the other hand, weakness and femininity are interchangeably attributed to the yang side, the softer side of things. Is this really a good thing? While it has been maintained that it is a world for the masculine, the main precepts of Feng Shui are actually more tailored to suit male, establishing them as the strong ones in the spectrum of life. The Feng Shui concept is already organized in its scope. Any person you ask about Feng Shui may tell you its symbols, the bagua, the yin and yang diagram and the charms used by Feng Shui experts to cancel bad luck. However, the main concepts are not entirely original. The philosopher Heraclitus from Greece is credited for having first denoted the concept of having opposites. And consequently, psychology on colors and other visual media can also state some theories that are resonant with Feng Shui precepts. Interestingly, there are more women drawn to the Feng Shui habit than men, who may or may not be conscious that they are actually supporting a form of belief system that establishes males as strong and females as weak. But other than the yin-yang concept, there is no other outward manifestation of this gender bias. Is it really a good thing to believe in Feng Shui and apply it? The answer is relative. It depends on the person who is asking and the background under which he or she is raised. If you are born in an open-minded culture which holds less restrictions on what you can and cannot do, the applying of Feng Shui may be a non-issue. Meanwhile, if you are under a movement that opposes the main beliefs of Feng Shui, you may have to make a more substantial choice of lifestyle changes. Feng Shui also has its own yin and yang to speak of. If you are really intent on ruminating on the deeper aspects of Feng Shui, you may have to dig deeper beyond what you see on promotional materials and even hate literature against Feng Shui. For the most part, Feng Shui is quite harmless in nature and it does not really explicitly cause major changes in one's lifestyles or belief systems. But if in case you choose to be more meticulous, you may find that analyzing beneath the layers of promotion of Feng Shui that there is more to it than just rearranging furniture. Advantages of applying Feng Shui in your life. Many people are fascinated with Feng Shui and with many good reasons. While others generally believe that it is just some oriental superstitious set of paradigms on interior design, but that is just part of the extensive definition for Feng Shui. The Feng Shui that we know now is actually comprised of various schools of learning and incorporates the different cultures under which it is housed. The good thing about the different options pertaining to Feng Shui is that even the layman can actually be able to understand and apply it immediately in their homes without having to spend too much. And apart from that, there are other advantages that only Feng Shui can bring if you can actually open up your mind to try it. Advantage number 1, it brings balance to one's life. Have you ever found yourself completely overburdened with clutter and unnecessarily stressed out of your wits? Chances are, you are suffering from a visual imbalance of some sort in your surroundings. Now, the best way to introduce some sense of balance is by incorporating elements that provide you with a sense of control in the outer balance of things. If you are able to get some semblance of balance even in things as menial as your furniture, you are bound to find balance in other aspects equally manageable. Advantage number 2, it helps you become more mindful of the little things. Mindfulness in the little things can actually be a good thing. Some of us tend to be heavily focused on the big things of life that even the minor details like home arrangement and office ergonomics no longer come to play. When these minor aspects of life continue to take a backseat, they tend to accumulate and produce a very stressful environment which can add up to other problems and worries of life. Advantage number 3, it opens up possibilities of meeting new people. Meeting new people is another bonus of being a Feng Shui enthusiast. When you are applying Feng Shui, chances are, you will be able to find another person within your social network who likes the same stuff and can even help you expand your knowledge on Feng Shui, no matter how limited it is to begin with. Advantage number 4, it gives a fresh perspective on things. At any given time, a fresh perspective is always welcome. This positive perspective can invite changes for the better. A new way of looking at home arrangement, for example, may actually serve to benefit you in the long run. The fresh perspective brought about by Feng Shui can actually bring about an enrichment of one's mind. Advantage number 5, it invites prosperity and success. The main objective of Feng Shui is to invite all the good things to one's life. Prosperity and success can be more easily within reach and a positive disposition may be expected if Feng Shui is practiced well. Advantage number 6, it has aesthetic appeal. On top of all the enumerated benefits of Feng Shui, the best would probably be its beauty. The physical appeal of a well-decorated home, interspersed with good Feng Shui techniques, is actually something that you can call a personal heritage that can transcend generations and promote beauty in all aspects, including design of the home and the office. Enhancing your life with Feng Shui. The ancient practice of Feng Shui is one of the oldest forms of geomancy in the world and can be traced back as far as 3,500 years ago in ancient China. The word literally means wind and water, and this practice believes in the notion that qi or vital energy can greatly influence and improve a person's life by achieving balance and harmony in their surroundings. To apply this practice means having to recognize the relationship between man and the environment he lives in. The key to this practice is locating the all-important qi by arranging objects inside or outside of your home or even your office space so that qi continuously flows freely in the space, thereby producing a positive impact in different aspects of your life. This ancient practice and belief is still being applied today, and here are some methods where the art of balance and harmony can make a difference in a person's life. Using the 5 phases method. The 5 phases method relies in the 5 elements or phases of fire, earth, metal, water and wood. These elements interrelate with each other through a creation cycle where fire produces earth, earth produces metal, metal produces water and water produces wood. Each element also corresponds to a particular direction where water is placed in the north, fire is the south, east is wood, west is metal and earth is the center. The best way to apply this method is to make sure that your room or the space you live in has a balance of all these elements to produce good qi, otherwise too much of a particular element might go against the other elements and produce harmful qi instead. Using the flying stars method. probably the most difficult method to apply Feng Shui, is the flying star method, which takes into account the date your house or office was built, a detailed floor plan, and the outside environment of the place. It is similar to having a birth sign in astrology, only this time it's your property's birth sign. Although this method can be complex, it is the most accurate of methods and usually done by master practitioners of the craft. What this method aims to achieve is to harmonize your space by finding out the best elements to enhance it and the elements that need to be avoided. Using the 8 mansions method. The most popular application of Feng Shui is the 8 mansions method, or the Ba Zhai. This method requires you to calculate your KUA number based on your birth date. This will help you determine your auspicious direction, because each KUA number corresponds to a particular direction. This method aims to find out which directions are good for you and which to avoid. It also helps you find out if you are compatible with that particular area you're living or staying in. Finding out the best direction for you and enhancing that space can help you become more productive in terms of career, relationships, health and luck. Feng Shui Proof Your Life. Testimonies of the benefits of this ancient practice are many, and its effectiveness can be traced from ancient times, otherwise this practice would not have survived today. The concept is simple and everyone can benefit with some semblance of balance and harmony in their lives. It's just a matter of recognizing the value of qi and making sure everything in your surroundings brings you peace. Thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment down below and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.